What's going on, everybody? It's Platinum here. Today I'm pretty much going to give you guys a walkthrough tutorial on how to maximize your damage on the world boss. Things like components, heroes to run, some skills, and just anything to maximize your overall damage on the world boss. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to want to look at is our arsenal, of course. This is going to be where our components are located. And viewing my components, these are the ideal world boss components. 95% of you are going to be running these components. These components will work on Army, Navy, or Air Force. It doesn't matter. I am personally a Navy main, so I run my components on my Navy. The only exception where you will not be running these components is if you are an Army main and you specialize Rambo as a hero. Rambo hits 100% of the time. I'm sure you have probably figured that out. So you will not need hit. Instead of hit, you can run an armor buff, and you will have a advantage, so to speak, in the world boss, depending on your army setup and how good your Rambo really is. So go ahead, take a second, pause the video, set these components up. Once you got these components set up, we'll get on to the next part. Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at is the heroes you should be using when you're hitting the world boss. Now, our server is only 3 months old, so these are the servers that we have and that most of you watching probably will have. You may have a few, you may not have some, and it's okay. The ones I'm going to show you can be exclusive, and some of them are first game. So, as a Navy main, if you're starting off the game, Nimitz is the first gold you're probably going to want to go for. He's released early. And then Purple Simon, of course. Simon is always a great starter. Both of these guys do increased Navy attack damage. So pretty much when you're looking for world boss, you're looking to hit it hard. And you're looking to pretty much smack it. And both of these guys can do that. Now, later in the game, obviously, you can get Basil. And Basil will do you wonders, considering the fact that he does more attack damage than Nimitz. Now, when it comes to Army, I've found early game Tywin, obviously. Tywin's a really good option. Rambo, of course. Rambo's a pretty good option, mainly because of his hit factor, as I've already talked about. Katyusha's where things start to get pretty serious, and Amelia, of course. Now, when you get Amelia and Katyusha, this is more than likely going to be your big hitters on the world boss, at least for the point of the server we're at now, until we get Ben or things of that nature. When it comes to Air Force, we don't know a whole lot about Air Force and hitting the world boss. For what we know, it's not the greatest thing you can do as compared to hitting it with a Amelia and a Katyusha or a Navy combo, so to speak. But that's pretty much going to be your basics on the heroes and what you're going to want to be selecting. We're going to get into the skills next, which is the more complex part and the part you're probably going to want to pay attention to. So hero skills are one of the most important parts in the game. They're effective against world boss, in Warzone, PvP, in Odinium, in SVS, you name it. Hero skills are going to be useful for it. So when you're looking at hero skills, you're going to want to be using skills that maximize your attack, your damage, anything that hits the world boss harder, you can use. So we're not going to be focusing things like HP and reduced damage, so to speak, as much as increasing damage, attack percentages, things of that nature. So the first thing I'm going to do is your top slot. You can only run, say like a March size or a hero exclusive. Now, me personally, I'm going to run a level 4 exclusive skill. We normally don't recommend it unless it's a level 5 or above, but I'm just going to do this. If you don't have an exclusive skill, level 5 plus, or if you really wanted to run it at level 4 for world boss, you could. Then you can run your March size up here. As for this one down here, I am going to run my rare March size, of course. It's absolutely necessary. If you did not want to run the exclusive hero skill, which this only gives me an 8% boost to my 72%, so an overall 80.6% boost, which is not terrible at all, but not as much as what I could have. If you did not want to run that, you could run a non-rare attack or even a damage maybe. It's kind of up to you on preference, but just anything that's kind of going to increase your overall attacking and damage on the world boss is pretty good to run. So The next thing that I'm going to throw on here, obviously, is going to be a rare. You're going to want most rares on when it comes to hero skills, I should say. So my rare, and then I'm going to run my damage as well. So these are the skills that I have found are the most effective for World Boss when it comes to mind limits. It can vary depending on your hero skills, your hero perks, your hero abilities, things of that nature. But this is kind of what I found to be most effective on mind limits for right now. And obviously, if I came over to the Basel, it's kind of the same concept. I don't really know if I should be running it at level 4, but it's been working out pretty well. If I wanted to, I could take that off and put on another Navy attack that was a non-rare, of course. But these are obviously both rares. You're going to want to run rares on pretty much everything when it comes to hero skills. As I said, unless you're not going to be running an exclusive. So that pretty much covers it for your exclusive skills. I should also note that I did not cover the Army heroes, but these skills also translate over to Army and Air Force. It also kind of depends on the hero you run, but that's a topic for another video. So guys, the very last thing that I wanted to note about the World Boss is that your level has a big thing to do with it. So for me, I have level 76 boats, so I'm going to be hitting the World Boss a lot harder than anyone that's level 70 or below, I'd say. So no comparison needed. It just kind of depends on your level and how much you're grinding it out. So for me, I did 71.4 up here, along with 74.3, 72.1, 71.4, and 73.7 for my World Boss attacks. This would have been about just an hour ago, maybe even a little under. So obviously it's pretty effective. That would have been about 360 trillion damage, which in my server would have only gotten me up to about 6th place in the World Boss. But this is kind of the way that you maximize your level of troop and how you can get your best overall damage from that. So obviously the components I've shown you, some of the heroes, the hero skills that you can run are the best way to maximize your overall damage for your troop archetype, and the best way that you can probably increase your rewards. So with that being said, y'all, my name's Platt. I plan on making a lot more content here in the future, but I don't have a whole lot of ideas on what you guys may not know about. So if you guys want to do me a favor and leave a comment below on maybe what I should make a video about. I realize there's not a lot of content out there on 101 tutorials if you're starting out the game or something like that. It was a struggle for me when I first started the game, and not everyone starts off a vet. So leave me a comment below about something you want to know about, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.